Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello. Welcome to week 2 of Puppet a Week. Hello. Welcome to week 2 of Puppet a Week, my year-long project where I'm attempting to make one new puppet each week to be used with my puppetry group. What follows is about 8 minutes of a making of process for making this puppet. The mouth didn't move. See, this is why I'm doing this project, because I'm not very good. I should apologize in advance for the bit at the end where I attempt to create a character for this puppet. Creating characters is not my strong suit, and certainly doing voices, not so much, so it was foolhardy of me to attempt to do an African-American woman for my first week, including it in the video, but because I'm so bad at it, I almost have to include it. Enjoy! Welcome to Puppet a Week, week 2. This is my stack of stuff for this week. I've got some foam to do for some structural things otherwise, but I've got white yarn for the hair, purple for the body, torso, shirt looking part, some brown for the head and arms, and a yellow to use for the sleeves to go with the purple. So I've stitched up all the stuff on the sewing machine that I normally would. The arms, the sleeves, the body, the head, the hands. I have decided the last couple of times that it works a lot better to hand stitch around the fingers. And so now I'm working on the best I can find for instructions on how to make like a yarn hair that works as a wig. So I can prepare it off the puppet and then attach it to the puppet. The instructions seem to be, or imply, to take my yarn, I should wrap it around a book, my Doodling with Jim Henson book that somebody got for me for Christmas, and then I should cut one side of it and then kind of stitch along the middle. I'm not exactly clear. We're going to try it and see what happens. And 5 minutes of winding later, I have a bunch of yarn around a book. We'll see how it works. Take scissors, pick my spot cut. This is going to give me a bunch of equally length pieces. Doodling with Jim Henson is free now. I have 2-foot long sections of hair. Yeah, sure, whatever, somewhere in that range, anyway. That I'm going to try to sew into a wig-like thing. Finding the middle, and spreading out the yarn. See if I can angle the webcam. Right. except the random pieces of paper. So doing like this, and then I'm going to fold over with a piece of fabric in the middle, which is hopefully actually in the middle. That is about that is the same color and the same fabric as the head on the puppet, and then I'm going to stitch along the middle to hold it all together. Hopefully. Well, I think that worked. Stitched up yarn onto this little strip, and my hope is that I can then do something with this that will keep it together as a head of yarn that I can then attach to the puppet in some way. Not exactly sure how yet. Yeah, the instructions I follow are very fuzzy. If I follow the instructions anyway. So, this will hopefully end up being a wig of hair for a puppet. So this is the puppet that we used for a shoot this week. That was the puppet a week for this week. Just kind of vaguely put back together because of the process of deconstructing her. The hair needed to be sewed on anyway. I'm really not happy with these eyes. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with those, because when I glued them on, I didn't glue them in such a way that they're going to come off easily or be replaced easily without it kind of marring the fleecy surface. But other things I've got to do is I've got to fix the hands. Not the shape, that's fine. It's just that the Velcro, when I attached it, is a little smaller than what I used last time, and I don't think it's quite enough, and I need to actually stitch it in instead of just let the glue work. And then when we turn her inside out, she's got a jaw and a skull and a feltish mouth plate with actually gasket rubber, which is supposed to be the ideal material for using for mouth plates, but I've never used it, so I don't really know how to adhere it to the mouth itself. I had just hot glued, you can see all there, and once I figure out how to remove that or how to reattach that to something else, I'll put these back on, because these did have a very nice feel for gripping while working with the puppet. But since they didn't stay attached, we ended up having to do an emergency repair in the middle of the shoot. So I think I'm either going to do just a piece of foam that's going to fit into this area here, which is kind of how the original pattern is designed, or I'm going to use some stiffened felt. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm going to finish deconstructing and getting all my stuff together. And then, as my lid says, wait, it's reversed in this camera. I don't know if you can see that. Get excited, make things. See if we can finish up this puppet before the day's out.
Hi, my name is Laquithia Majesness. Actually, that's a lie. My name is Sarah. In high school, my friend Juliette Quatrain, which she claims is her real name, though I've never met another family with a last name of poetical construct. Never met a Juliette Haiku or a William Sonnet. Maybe she was French-Canadian. Where was I? Oh yes, Juliette, who was as white gets, mind you, felt that my name was embracing the Caucasian patriarchy or something, and that Sarah Perdue sounded far too much like I was a chicken mogul. I inexplicably went along with this and adopted the name of Laquithia Majesness for a time. When I got to college, I realized the foolishness of adopting a nonsensical name that a confused suburbanite girl from Atlanta thought sounded African, and went back to my given name. It was in college where I met my ex-husband, who was my heart and true love for several years before he left me for a lady by the name of Candy, whose primary occupation involved a metal pole and was not a fireman. I should have known when I met him that the name Richard Johnson was foreboding, and that he was going to be a bit of a prick. So, I am now Sarah Johnson, because I don't find it instructive to remind myself regularly of the folly of youth that prompted me to adopt the name Laquithia, but I do find it prudent to remind myself of the folly of love. Ain't that sweet?